When the motorcycle press reviewed the Breva 1100, many were unsure as to what to make of it. Sport bikes and cruisers were all the rage at that time, but the Breva was neither. It was plenty fast enough, yet comfortable and relaxed enough for all-day rides. Many were impressed with the feel and power from the two-valve V-twin, the slick 6-speed gearbox, and the exceptionally well-balanced handling and capable brakes. 17 years on, does it feel old and out of date? Not to me. Like all Guzzis since the transverse V-twins were introduced in the late 1960s, the Breva's shaft drive. But in these more modern bikes, any shaft jacking has been eliminated. And although the engine retains some visual similarities with the earlier bikes, inside it's a different story. The moving parts have been lightened, and there are new oilways to assist in cooling. Fresh from the factory, my 1972 Eldorado might have pumped out about 68 horsepower, probably less, while the Breva's rated at 86 and 60 foot-pounds of torque. Those numbers might not sound impressive, but the newer bike is noticeably faster, without losing all that lovely, just-off-idle torque. My bike has an aftermarket exhaust. I suppose it's lighter than the original, and while it produces a pleasing, mellow sound, isn't obnoxiously loud. Once the weather started to warm up, I headed for a quick 3-day spin to southwestern Ontario to visit some friends and their dogs and see some of the farming country west of Toronto. It's not really my idea of riding heaven, but since that end of the province is generally warmer than where I live, I was hoping for some comfortable riding temperatures. In Owen Sound for the night, I was delighted to see the Chi-Chi-Mount ferry in its winter berth, with its snazzy new graphics honouring the region's First Nations people. During the summer, this car ferry crosses Lake Huron to Manitoulin Island, and back every day. And then it was on past the heavily developed southern Lake Huron shoreline, with its seemingly endless lines of beachfront properties, past Collingwood and Wasaga Beach, and then back into the world of rocks, trees and water that I've come to love. The Breva continued to run like a charm and hadn't used a drop of oil when I checked back at the motel. Cruising along at a comfortable but sane road speed was effortless. I was starting to really enjoy this bike. I pulled in to take a look at the rapids at Furnace Falls, finding the Breva handled entirely predictably once the road surface got a little sloppy. Running water. It's a bit of an addiction. A few days later, having returned home, I was out exploring some of our local roads. By now I was so used to the Breva's smooth, trustworthy handling, and was really enjoying rolling along without giving much of a thought to anything much. Heading south along the lovely snow road, I saw a sign I'd seen many times before, leading to the unpaved Ragged Chutes Road. Ragged Chutes. That sounds as though there might be a rapids down there. It's got to be worth a look. So I turned in. The gravel was a little soft in places, but the Breva felt secure and relaxed. No better, but certainly no worse than my old Eldorado. The road was just beginning to get a little tricky when I met this gentleman who lived at the top of the hill. He informed me that his next-door neighbour had closed off access to the chutes, which was still a couple of miles ahead. Oh well, it was worth a try, and I'd had a lovely long conversation before turning around and heading back to the road. As I noted at the beginning of this video, the Breva 1100 is a jack of all trades. Comfortable cruising on the highway? Check. Easy to enjoy on smooth, paved minor roads with plenty of bends? Check. Capable on winding, soft gravel byways? Check. It's not a sport bike, not a cruiser, not an off-road bike, but it copes with just about any reasonable riding with comfort and style. I like it. Please like, subscribe, etc. and check out my various motorcycle books. They're available from Amazon in digital, paperback and audiobook versions. Thanks for watching.